It looks like Finesse2Tymes just got played by none other than J. Prince Jr. His contract just leaked, and wow, this might be one of the most twisted deals the industry's ever seen. No exaggeration. Before we unpack this wild mess, let's talk about how Finesse tried to link up with the Prince family. But that move might go down as his biggest mistake ever. This whole story is about to shake things up big time. We're talking millions, contracts, and family empires running the game. Back in September 2022, Finesse2Tymes thought he was locking in the deal of a lifetime when he signed with Mob Ties Entertainment, J. Prince Jr.'s label. He probably thought he was about to touch serious money and level up, but here's the twist. From the very start, he was walking straight into a setup that would leave him fighting just to breathe financially. When I first saw that contract, I couldn't believe it. Like, what is this? This isn't your average record deal. This is legal robbery written in black and white. According to the leaked paperwork, Finesse signed an exclusive service agreement. But here's where it goes completely left. They didn't just bring in one company, they brought in two separate entities, all slicing up his income like a cake. Usually, when an artist signs a deal, it's simple. One label, one cut, one check. The artist gets their share, the label takes theirs, and life moves on. But the Prince family? Nah, they flipped the script. They built a whole money pipeline with multiple companies eating off one artist's grind. That's next-level business strategy. But it sounds like Finesse was the only one not winning. Now, let's talk about that advance money, because this is where the real finessing kicks in. When artists get signed, that advance is supposed to be your safety net, your launch pad while you're in the studio working on your dreams. But this deal, it made sure even that money didn't stay in your pocket. The paperwork shows that any cash flowing in gets chopped three ways: 35% to the artist, Finesse, 35% to Mob Ties, J. Prince Jr.'s company, and 30% to JPE, James Prince Entertainment. And you already know who that belongs to. Man, that's wild. One artist, three cuts, and two companies connected to the same family, all taking slices of his work. This ain't just a bad deal, it's a masterclass in how to lose control of your own bag. That's J. Prince Sr., the father, the OG himself. Let me break this madness down real quick. If $1 million comes in, Finesse only touches $350,000. J. Prince Jr. pockets another $350,000, and the father, J. Prince Sr., scoops up $300,000. That's wild. The man is getting double-dipped by the entire Prince family. But hold up, it gets even uglier. That advance money everyone thinks is a blessing? Yeah, it's actually a trap. Finesse has to pay that advance back, and it comes straight out of his 35%. So if he got a $200,000 advance, he's got to pull in over $570,000 just to break even. Meanwhile, the Prince family is stacking 65% the whole time. That's a losing game from the start. Now here's where things get really twisted. After digging into some records, I found out both Mob Ties and J. Prince Entertainment are registered in Texas. J. Prince Jr. owns Mob Ties, and his father owns J. Prince Entertainment. So basically, the son signed Finesse to his label, then looped in his pops to get a piece too. Imagine signing with one person, and then they say, "Oh, by the way, my dad gets paid too." That's not business, that's a setup. And here's the thing, this isn't new for the Prince family. They've been moving like this for decades, turning every deal into a family affair where multiple relatives cash out. J. Prince Sr. has been in the game since the 80s with Rap-A-Lot Records, mastering every kind of deal you can think of. He's been structuring contracts to make sure the money never leaves the family circle. So when JR launched Mob Ties, of course the father was going to get his share. But here's the problem. It creates a crazy conflict of interest. How can J. Prince Jr. claim he's protecting his artist's best interests when his own father is taking money from the same pot? That's like being your own opponent in business. It's a setup that leaves Finesse trapped between loyalty and survival. And believe it or not, it still gets worse. This isn't just a recording contract, it's a 360 deal. That means the label gets a cut of everything Finesse earns. We're talking music sales, merch, endorsements,
tour money, appearance fees, streaming revenue, literally everything. The contract even gives them rights to his name, image, and likeness for sponsorships and promos.
So not only are they taking 70% of his music bag, they're also snatching 70% of his merch money, 70% of his show money, and 70% of any brand deal he lands. This man can't make a single dollar without the Prince family getting their hands on it first. Let's break it down in numbers. If Finesse does a show for $10,000, he only walks away with $3,500. If he sells $5,000 worth of merch, that's just $1,750 for him. And if he secures a $20,000 endorsement, he only pockets $7,000. Everything is getting taxed by this contract like clockwork. But the nastiest part? The merchandise clause. The label can use his name and likeness however they want, without even asking him. They could drop Finesse2Tymes t-shirts, sell them for $30 a pop, and he'd only get $10.50 per shirt, while they walk off with $19.50. That's straight up wild. And to top it off, the deal locks him in for 5 albums. 5! Most production deals stretch for maybe 1 or 2 albums tops, but this one changed him down for 5 whole projects. That's not a partnership, that's a lifetime sentence in contract form. That's exactly how labels keep you trapped, gang. They know by the time you hit your 2nd or 3rd album, you might blow up and start thinking about leaving. But guess what? You're already locked in tight. They've got the paperwork on you, and you can't move without their say-so. And yeah, the royalty rates technically go up a little with each album. Album 1 at 14%, Album 2 at 14.5%, and by Album 4 or 5, it hits 16%. Sounds good, right? Nah, here's the catch. It's 16% of their 35%, not the total earnings. That means Finesse might be getting an extra 4 or 5% after they've already sliced the pie for themselves. That's pocket change. But here's the real messed up part about this 5-album setup. They don't even have to promote the projects. The label could literally sit on his music, let it collect digital dust, and still make money off whatever Finesse does on his own. They can keep him frozen under contract while quietly taking their cut from every move he makes. It's the same type of trap that left artists like Lil Wayne stuck at Cash Money for years. The label wins whether they lift a finger or not.
Lil Wayne has pleaded guilty to a federal weapons charge. He faces up to 10 years in prison.
Now, let's get into Finesse2Tymes' story, because once you know his background, this whole thing hits even harder. He's from Memphis, Tennessee, a city that's birthed hustlers and survivors. This man's been grinding for years, both in the streets and the booth. He's 33 now, and in rap years, that's crunch time. Either you blow up soon or the industry starts moving on without you. Finesse has been through it. He's done time, seen the struggle, and was trying to turn his pain into purpose through music. For him, Mob Ties looked like a blessing, a label with real pull, real connections, and a name that could open doors. To him, it must have felt like the jackpot. But instead of finding his freedom, he walked right into a business-made prison. He's been tied to that deal for 4 years now. And in all that time, they've only dropped 2 projects. 4 years gone. Prime career years he can never get back. What's worse, he's been paying for everything himself. His music videos, his promotions, his marketing, stuff the label should have been handling. He even said he's around $10,000 to $15,000 in the hole for things they were supposed to cover. That's wild. You sign a label deal so they handle business, but here he is funding his own grind while they still take 70% of his bag. And then it gets emotional, man. Finesse went live on Instagram, and you could feel the pain in his voice. This grown man who's been through the streets, through prison, through life, was fighting tears as he begged J. Prince Jr. to let him go. He said, "Junior, let me go. We already made all the money we can make together. I don't want to go to no other label with you. I love you, but I no longer want to be Mob Ties business-wise." That hit deep. Hearing that kind of plea from an artist who gave everything he had, that's heartbreaking. He's 33, still pushing, watching other rappers his age stack millions and live free while he's stuck scraping by. And when he started talking about his family, it broke everyone watching. He said, "I got kids to feed, I got bills to pay, and I'm out here looking crazy because I can't provide the way I should be able to."
That right there wasn't just frustration. It was pain from a man who's realizing that the deal he thought would save him is the same one holding him back. This isn't just a bad contract. It's a reminder of how the industry can turn dreams into traps when you don't read the fine print. Finesse wanted success, but what he got instead was a cage built out of percentages and signatures.
That part hit different. You could feel the pain in Finesse's voice when he said, "Let me go make my money. It's over with. We done." That wasn't anger, it was exhaustion. This man sounded completely broken, like someone who's been fighting a losing battle for way too long. But here's what really lit a fire in me. Finesse mentioned that J. Prince Jr.'s father, J. Prince Sr., is worth around $300 million, and yet they're still squeezing every last penny out of him. That's wild. Tell me how that makes sense. If your family's already sitting on hundreds of millions, why are you taking 70% from a man just trying to feed his kids? That's not business anymore. That's straight up greed. You can't justify taking that much from someone who's clearly struggling. Watching him break down on Instagram Live, talking about how he can't even provide for his family the way he should, it's beyond sad. It's infuriating. J. Prince Sr. has been building wealth since the 80s. He's had major artists, smart investments, and a legacy set for generations. So why still drain artists like Finesse for every dime? It's like watching a millionaire fight over pocket change with someone who's starving. Yeah, legally they might be in the clear, but morally, that's a whole different story. And here's where things get real scary for Finesse, because calling out the Prince family in public, that's a bold move. Everyone in the industry knows the Prince name carries serious weight in Houston and beyond. They're not just a label, they're a power structure. And when it comes to business, they don't play. Going public with their name attached can easily turn into career suicide. These folks have deep connections. Industry vets, execs, promoters, radio stations, you name it. A single phone call from the right person can block bookings, cut off features, and silence your music before it even drops. When you go to war with them, you're not just clashing with a label, you're going against an entire machine. But Finesse is clearly past the point of fear. He said he's willing to meet anywhere, alone, just to work this situation out. That's not recklessness, that's desperation mixed with courage. You can tell he's a man who just wants his freedom back, no matter the risk. And then he said something that hit like a punch to the gut. "I don't have a daddy that's worth $300 million, so I know it's easy for you not to care." That line right there cut deep. It showed that he knows the power imbalance he's up against. But the truth is, this ain't just about Finesse2Tymes. This happens to artists all across the music game. Young talent gets excited about signing their first deal, blinded by the promise of fame and success. They don't look deep into the paperwork, and before they know it, they're locked into deals that make everyone rich except them. We've seen this story play out over and over. Look at Megan Thee Stallion's situation with 1501 Entertainment. Same energy. She blew up, tried to renegotiate her contract, and suddenly she's in a legal war that dragged on for years. The label kept eating off her success while she fought just to control her own art. Or take Lil Wayne and Cash Money. Lil was one of the biggest rappers alive, yet he couldn't drop music when he wanted because of a deal that kept him tied down. That shows you how deep this problem runs. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or you're a superstar. The wrong contract can hold you hostage all the same. So when you look at what's happening to Finesse, it's not just one man's problem, it's the industry blueprint. Labels keep artists trapped, families get rich, and the talent, the one actually doing the work, gets left fighting for scraps. That's not hustle, that's exploitation, plain and simple. It took years of legal battles and non-stop drama before Lil Wayne finally broke free. And that's the scary part. Contracts like this, they're way more common than people realize. A lot of your favorite rappers probably signed the same type of deals when they were first starting out. The only difference is, some get big enough to renegotiate, while others just stay quiet and take the hit. Now let's dig into the legal side of this mess, because this is where things get real complicated. When an artist signs a contract like this, they're legally bound to every single term. That means Finesse can't just walk away, even if the deal's straight up terrible. The contract likely includes strict clauses outlining what happens if he tries to break it. Penalties, lawsuits, fees, you name it. And best believe, these labels have entire teams of lawyers whose only job is to make sure artists can't wiggle out. But here's the part that really burns.
Just because something is legal doesn't make it right. These contracts are written in complicated legal language that most artists can't even fully understand. When you're just starting out, you're hyped to finally get signed. You're thinking about the fame, the shows, the money. But without solid legal help, you might not even realize you're signing away your freedom. That's probably what happened with Finesse. He thought it was a normal record deal, a shot at turning his talent into real money. What he didn't realize was that he was basically signing over 70% of his entire career to the Prince family for 5 albums straight. That's 5 projects where the majority of his earnings go to someone else.
What makes it even worse, seeing other Memphis artists, guys he came up with, winning big while he's still stuck fighting for scraps. He's watching people like Moneybagg Yo stacking millions, buying cribs, rolling luxury cars and living a dream, while he's out here trying to recoup the money he spent on his own videos. That's gotta sting bad. And Finesse said it himself, if he was free to sign somewhere else, he could be making $10 to $20 million. That's life-changing money, money that could set up his whole family for generations. But instead, that potential is locked behind legal walls, all because of one piece of paper. Imagine knowing you've got the talent to compete with the best, but your own contract is holding you back from even getting in the game. He's probably watching other artists get 7-figure advances while he's out here fighting over a few $1,000s. That's not just frustrating, that's soul-crushing. You put your heart into the music, the fans love you, and the numbers prove your worth, but the system won't let you move. And this is where things get really confusing for most artists, the recoupment situation. That's the trap that catches almost everyone who signs a deal. Because what labels give you up front is not free money, it's basically a loan. Every dollar they advance you, from the cars to the music videos to the studio sessions, has to be paid back before you see a single cent of profit. So while you think you're getting paid, you're actually going into debt. The label recoups their money first, off your sales, streams, shows, everything. And you only get paid after they've made back every penny they spent on you. That means even when you're working non-stop and making hits, your check can still come up short. And that's exactly the nightmare Finesse2Tymes is living right now, stuck in a deal that's technically legal but completely unfair, watching millions slip through his fingers while everyone else gets rich off his grind. Even though Finesse only gets 35% of his own money, he still has to recoup every dollar the label ever spent on him before he can touch any extra cash. So if they gave him a $200,000 advance, guess what? He's got to earn that same $200,000 back, but only from his 35%. That means he's working to pay off debt before he even sees profit. And while he's grinding to break even, the label is still raking in their 65% the entire time. That's wild. It's like being in debt while the people you owe keep getting richer off your hard work. But it gets worse. The label gets to decide what counts as an expense. Studio time, that's on him. Marketing, on him. Promotion, yep, on him too. Even music videos get charged back to his 35%. So imagine this, Finesse's music brings in $1 million, but the label claims they spent $300,000 in expenses. That means he now has to make $857,000 from his 35% just to see another dime. The math doesn't even make sense. It's designed so he never truly wins. Now let's talk about how this hits in the streaming era, because that's where the numbers get even crazier. Streaming doesn't pay like it used to with CDs or downloads. These days, 1 million streams on Spotify might only bring in around $3,000 to $4,000 total. With Finesse's deal, he only keeps 35% of that, so maybe $1,200. Then after taxes and expenses, he's left with about $600 to $800 from 1 million streams. That's insane. Meanwhile, an independent artist, someone not trapped in a deal like his, would have kept nearly all of that $3,000 to $4,000. So Finesse has to pull 3 times as many streams just to make what a free artist makes off one hit. That's exhausting. And in today's music world, consistency is everything. You gotta keep dropping music to stay in fans' faces. But if the label's holding projects, delaying releases, or not pushing his songs, he can't build that streaming momentum he needs to survive. And in the age of social media, that makes it sting even more. Finesse can see other rappers living good, posting new cars, houses, and diamond chains every day, while he's stuck grinding for scraps. He's watching people he came up with thrive off fairer deals, while his own contract keeps him in a chokehold. That kind of comparison messes with your head. What really breaks your heart, though, is the emotional toll all this is taking on him.
You can hear it every time he speaks. This man went from being hyped about his career to begging for freedom. That's not how music's supposed to feel. This industry was supposed to be his way out, but now it's the very thing holding him back. He's 33 years old now, and he said it himself. He feels like time is running out. In hip-hop, every year counts. The older you get, the harder it is to stay hot. And the sad part is, every year stuck in a bad deal is a year you can't get back. So when he goes live and you hear that desperation in his voice, it hits deep. You can hear that pain. He's not angry, he's tired.
He's doing everything an independent artist does, funding his own videos, promoting his own tracks, building his fan base, but he's still handing over 70% of his earnings. That's gotta mess with your mental. Imagine grinding day and night, doing all the work, but watching most of your money vanish before it even reaches your pocket. It's like being independent, but still chained to the system. He even said it feels like being a slave with extra steps. And honestly, that description fits. He's putting in triple the effort for a fraction of the reward. And let's be real, the Prince family isn't just any label. They've got deep industry ties. Radio programmers, streaming curators, booking agents, and gatekeepers all across the map. If they wanted to, they could make things really hard for him, even if he did manage to break free from the contract. That's the cold part about this game. The more connected your label is, the harder it is to escape their grip. Finesse isn't just fighting for his freedom, he's fighting an entire system built to keep him boxed in. Sometimes when life backs you into a corner, all you can do is fight back with the tools you've got. And for Finesse2Tymes, his weapon isn't money or power, it's his voice and his truth. What's happening to him is way bigger than just one bad contract. It's a reflection of how the music industry still preys on artists, especially those who come from the struggle and might not have access to solid legal help when they finally get that dream offer. It's time to ask some real questions. How many other artists are stuck in these same traps, too scared or too powerless to speak up? How many careers have been crushed by deals that were never meant to help them win in the first place? It really makes you look at the whole system sideways. Like, is this industry really built to empower artists or just to profit off their talent until there's nothing left? The truth is, the game has always been the same. Powerful people make money off gifted people who don't understand the business side. But this isn't the 1990s anymore. It's 2024, and there's no excuse for artists to walk into deals blind. With all the information out there, all the independent success stories, and all the tools available now, artists have got to educate themselves, get a real lawyer, learn the game, and understand that a record deal isn't always a blessing. It can be a curse wrapped in shiny promises. What happens next for Finesse2Tymes could change the game for everyone. If he manages to break free or renegotiate something fair, it might inspire other artists to stand up and expose their own bad deals. But if the Prince family decides to make an example out of him, it could silence a lot of artists who are scared to lose everything by speaking up. Either way, the whole industry is watching closely to see how this plays out. And no matter what happens, one thing's already clear. Finesse2Tymes has made people pay attention. He's pulled the curtain back on how these predatory contracts really work, how they trap artists for years, control their money, and drain their creative spirit while others profit. This isn't just drama, it's a wake-up call for every artist grinding to make it big. Because when you look at this deal, a 70-30 split, a 5-album commitment, and a 360 clause that takes from everything he earns, it's one of the most one-sided, suffocating contracts in recent memory. It's not designed to help him, it's designed to keep him working while everyone else gets rich off his grind. That's not partnership, that's manipulation dressed up as opportunity. And that's how J. Prince Jr. finessed Finesse2Tymes, turning a rising star's dream into a deal that drained his shine. But even though the system stacked against him, his voice might just spark the change other artists need. So if you're rocking with this breakdown and you want more content that exposes the real side of the music business, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment below. Let's keep this conversation going because the music industry is wild. And sometimes the very people who claim they want to see you win are the ones keeping you trapped. Stay alert, stay informed, and always, always read the fine print before you sign anything.